This is a Jmix exclusive.
And that's pretty much what the Makaveli album was, with the exception of a few songs by QD3.
Yeah, yeah. And then let's see, and then Toss It Up, which is Dre's beat in a way, because that originally was the No Diggity song that Death Row Security went down to Westlake Audio and insisted that they give them the tape, and then they brought up the Death Row. Never seen more excitement ever at the studio that they had the Dre tape, and I think it was me and Quick and G1. They brought the tape in, and Tupac did a verse and said, "Let me know how it comes out," and left. And this is right when Tupac had gotten there, because I was like, "Who did we just record?" Because Tupac just ran the studio and got on the mic, and it was real dark back there. So I God, that dude sounds like Tupac. I said, "Who was that?" Nigga, what was Tupac? I said, "No, that was fucking Tupac." Because he just came in, boom, and said on the mic, "Okay, let me know how it comes," and just disappeared. And I'm playing it back, and I'm like, "Shit, that is Tupac." Because he had just gotten to the Can-Am, and we were in the front room, and he was in the back room, because he had that during the day. But that's how fast Tupac worked. He just did his verse, whatever. Let me know how it comes out. No questions asked.
Now, you had spoken before that Makaveli was to be a diss album. For the people that haven't heard that, because it's very, very interesting, can you tell us about learning about the Makaveli album and the conversation you had with Pac?
Well, Tupac said I got an order from Suge to do a diss album. So we were working on diss songs. And then the topic came up where I told him I wish he was doing something more like for the people, more educational, more political. Because I was a big Gil Scott-Heron fan. When I was 16 years old, I learned to play bass just so I could go on tour with Gil Scott-Heron with a band that I had my brother. We were very political. So political, in fact, that we were blacklisted by the CIA because our band played before the vice president of El Salvador gave a speech about the death squads. And my uncle was a general in the Air Force, so that the tie-in wasn't very good. But I never did get a chance to tell Tupac, "Hey, I was blacklisted by the CIA too." But so I told him, I expressed it. I wish we were doing more political stuff, and he said, "Okay, we're going to start the Makaveli album." And then Lance, who you've spoken with a couple times, got all excited because he was familiar with Makaveli from Tupac had mentioned that a couple songs before, because he knew that meant it was going to be the social political thing. And Lance was kind of the one that helped us really go in the political direction by suggesting, can we put in Malcolm X samples? Can we put in Farrakhan samples? And Tupac's reply to that was, put Farrakhan all over the album because he owes me money. And so, but what happened was, like, Suge put Toss It Up in the album, which really kind of bummed me out, because he was telling us, well, every album has to have a club song on it, which I don't agree with. You can't have a political album. It has to have a club song on it, unless you got a club song that's real political, So, like, he threw Toss It Up on there, and then they changed out one other song. But so I was just disappointed that one song got in there, because we could have had another more political song in there that he was doing.
Now, you had told Tupac that a couple of his songs sounded kind of whack because he was going at Nas pretty hard. Are there unreleased Nas disses laying around?
Well, it's the Friends track, which I believe, for some reason, there's a lot of confusion, which is the real Friends. But it's the one in Friends where he talks about Nas. Yeah, there are some unreleased ones. A couple of them got erased. As a matter of fact, I even erased vocals of Faith Evans on some Tupac songs, because she did come to the Death Row Studios and do some backgrounds on Tupac stuff. And I thought to myself, while we were erasing these, first we had Michelle try to sing the playing, and then we had Jewel try to replace the parts. And I thought, okay, if we're so tough, if Death Row is supposed to be so tough, and no one can mess with this, why is Suge erasing these vocals if he really wants to go to war?
Now, Tupac,
I don't know, is this for... Has anybody spoke to you about that, the Faith Evans?
Yes, Natasha Walker told me about the session that she started on the Wonder Why You Call You Bitch. song. She was the original singer on that, and she was removed from that song. That was during the notorious situation where Tupac allegedly had sex with her. Is there any truth to Tupac trying to take his masters? There's a story that Tupac rushed in and tried to take his masters out of death row. Could that happen at death row? You take your masters?
Well, one day, Carl Bush Small and I didn't really realize what was going on. Went to the studio, and the studios never should release masters. I don't care who's trying to get them. And something the new guy didn't know that, and we loaded up all these tapes and took them to Suge's house. I knew it was a no-no. It wasn't that we were going for the Tupac, we were just going for anything we could. That's the only thing I've heard about reels getting taken out of. But I never heard about Tupac and those guys trying to get his masters. I don't think Tupac really cared about the masters if he knew the album was out.
Absolutely. And I just want to let everybody know that we are doing this live stream to help crowdsource the Kickstarter campaign for Tommy D's book, Stranded on Death Row with Tupac, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg. Tommy, what would you say to those that think that recording at death row was a non-stop party?
I wish they could have been there. It was such a non-stop party. Okay, here's one thing. I thought about this the other day because I want to put this in the book, and I've never really told the story because the other day I was thinking, okay, Snoop Dogg had his favorite joke. Here's what his joke was. Let's say a dude delivered a pizza, right? Snoop Dogg would go like, hey, did you get tickets? You know, and the guy who's delivering the pizza is totally freaking out because he realizes it's Snoop Dogg, right? So, and he'd say, tickets to what? And then Snoop Dogg was, do you know this joke? Have you heard this one?
No, I haven't.
And Snoop Dogg would say, tickets to the line to suck this beep, you know. Yeah, forever, right? So Snoop would he'd wait to have somebody come and say that joke. So, but what I was saying too, this is the kind of person Tupac was. If a dude was delivering a pizza and he said to Tupac, man, I'd like to rap with you sometime, Pac would say, all right, you're next. That's what he would say, you're next. That's how cool he was. And that's how fast he would, because you never knew. The guy might have had something dope. And that happened to one of the runners, I forget his name. He got shot in a drive-by back a little bit. He was like the only, he told Snoop he wanted to rap, and Snoop said, okay, you're next. And Lyrical, that was his name, and he was on the mic, you know. And so the kid was like freaking out because he's on a song with Tupac as a runner. But that's the kind of person that Tupac was. And in my book, I'm hoping that like people will get the idea of what kind of person Tupac was from the way he conducted himself in the studio. So, the book is mostly about things that happen in the studio, a few things that happen outside, not about the things that took place in the clubs or in the fights or stuff that happened outside of death row. So it's more of a comedy than a tragedy, I guess I could say.
They're asking in the live stream when you think the book will be completed. Now, the bulk of this book is already finished, correct?
The book is finished. What's the reason why one of the reasons why we're doing the Kickstarter thing is we had gone to some publishers. I thought for sure they were going to jump on this because the title, Standard on Death Row with Tupac, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg, it's very obvious what the book is going to be about. So we had a couple of publishers, they wanted me to write my whole life story. I'm like, no, because if you're a Tupac fan, you want to read it. You don't care about me. I mean, you want to read about Tupac, So we did a lot of back and forth and wasted time with publishers. And the whole purpose of the Kickstarter thing is that we just can go independent with this. We don't have to worry about someone editing out what they don't think should be in there, or and so.
Do you feel that it will maintain its integrity?
It will be completed, but the good news is that a lot of people have come out and spoken about things that has enabled me to kind of get a little bit deeper into stuff I can talk about, like without incriminating myself or endangering myself. But I never in my life thought that Suge Knight would be sitting in county jail, which is just 1 mile down from my studio here, in confinement, something like that. I never thought Tupac was going to get killed, so I never thought Suge be sitting in, so all the death row thing, the threats and everything, it's all gone because they're all dead or in jail.